The eligibility checker for the LAYERZERO airdrop has finally gone live, and in today's video I'm going to cover everything that you need to know at this point. And we're going to start with this article here on CoinDesk. This is going back to May 2nd, where they basically outlined that the snapshot has been taken as the airdrop draws closer. So this airdrop wasn't a surprise. It has been confirmed for some time now, but it is finally time for that token to go live. If we move over to this article here, we can actually see some more details. This article just dropped this morning, and it basically outlines what you need to know at this point. So we can see here with the key takeaways that the eligibility checker has now been made available for the public to go and check their wallets to see if they are entitled to any ZRO tokens. The total supply is going to be at 1 billion, and 23.8% has been put aside for the community. Now the token actually launches tomorrow, so this is all moving pretty fast. And as we continue to scroll through the article, we can see some more information. We can also see a tweet from Brian Pellegrino, who is the co-founder and CEO of LAYERZERO, and this just outlines a little bit more detail around how this airdrop is going to go. So if we take a look at the tweet here, we can see, as we know, 23.8% of the supply going to the community and the builders. But what's interesting is 8.5% of this is being distributed on day one. So unlike the ZK Sync airdrop that we seen last week, where 100% of the tokens were distributed on day one, this is going to be a slightly different model, and I can imagine most people are probably not too happy about it. So we've got 8.5% on day one, 5% core, 3% RFP, 0.5% community pool. The majority of the remainder will be given over the next 36 months, with additional retroactive distribution every 12 months. So that to me says that there is going to be some kind of vesting terms for a number of these community-based tokens, and it is going to be over the course of 3 years. Again, I can imagine that not too many people will be best pleased about that. And something that many people will be aware of is the Sybil attack on a number of different wallets, basically excluding people from this airdrop in the attempt to exclude farmers and reward the genuine users. Now, there has been a lot of backlash and a lot of problems around this, especially with people being wrongly excluded. So again, if we go back to this Medium article, this again was on May 3rd, so a little while back. This again is no surprise, but we knew that there was going to be a number of wallets that would be excluded from the airdrop. Now, if we go through this article here, we can see some different activity that would basically exclude a wallet from this airdrop. We can see here that if you are a single entity with tens, hundreds or thousands of addresses participating and basically farming the airdrop for financial gain, if you minted valueless NFTs just for the sole purpose of moving it around chains and trying to catch the airdrop, if you bridged 1 penny back and forth across different chains, again, that is not going to land you the airdrop. So the takeaway here is, if you think you are a Sybil, you probably are. That is the way that they originally explained it, going back to the beginning of May. Now again, if we touch on that same long tweet from Brian Pellegrino, there is a bit more information around this. So we can see here that they've said that they've been running a bunch of ZRO sims, and given we haven't finalized the final Sybil numbers or the final RFP numbers, it's a bit hard to say exactly how it shapes up. But this bit here about not having the final list finalized, is a bit of a concern, because some people may still be excluded despite already checking their wallets. Now, I can already imagine the outrage. If people thought they was landing a decent airdrop, they've actually checked the eligibility checker, they've made sure that they are eligible, they're happy, and then it gets taken away from them just at the final moments. Now that is again going to cause a lot of disruption across the community, I can imagine. But they outline as well that 6 million starting addresses, 3 million have only sent between 1 and 5 transactions, so most of them have already been excluded. And I can kind of understand that. There are going to be a number of different people who have created, hundreds if not thousands of wallets and just done 1 transaction on each of them. So I can kind of get that. But of course, unfortunately, genuine users who just needed to use the product once or twice are now going to be excluded. So, it's a bit of a catch-22. I can understand both sides of the argument here, but, it is just such a tricky situation for them to deal with. Okay, so when it comes to the eligibility criteria, I haven't found anything official at this point from LayerZero. There's nothing on the blog, nothing on the website, and I can imagine that they probably drop this when the token goes live tomorrow. But rather than just following people's predictions and suggestions on Twitter, I'm just going to work off my own experiences today, as I did have a couple of wallets that were eligible for the airdrop. Now, these wallets I've just genuinely used organically. I did think that some of them would be reported. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they hadn't. But the only reason I thought this was because people in the community basically went on bounty hunts, mass reporting wallets in the hope that they would land more tokens for being a snitch themselves. Now, I was luckily not excluded, but I know many people were wrongly excluded, and it is very unfortunate. It's quite annoying, to be honest, and it does make people lose hope in airdrops in general. But just from my own experiences here, just want to go through a couple of things that landed me the airdrop, just so you can make them comparisons. So first of all, the bulk of my tokens come from holding NFTs, specifically Kampai Pandas and Pudgy Penguins, and I also got a few tokens for using the ZRO application, which is NFT based. So the bulk of the tokens actually come from NFTs, and again, I think this is wrong because genuine users of 1-2 years plus didn't land as many tokens as this, and that just doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me. Next up is one of the wallets that I just genuinely use quite frequently, going across chain using different bridges and so on, and a lot of these tokens come from the LayerZero core products, Stargate, Stakestone and the Aptos bridge. Moving on from that, a smaller amount just from the LayerZero core products again. And then lastly, actually using the Beam bridge. So I used that organically a few months back to buy some RST tokens, which is Rainy Studios, Icebags project. And that is something, again, that landed me the airdrop, just a smaller amount of tokens. But again, if you were more active on this chain, it may have landed you a larger airdrop. So they're just a couple of different things and different methods that got me some ZRO tokens. And lastly, I'm just going to show you the eligibility checker itself. Now, it is very simple, very straightforward to use, and I'll leave a link in the description to not just this, but the articles, the tweets that we've discussed in this video, so you can go and check it all out for yourself. But just to run through this again very quickly, all you have to do is paste your wallet address into the search bar. It'll check if you're eligible. This wallet is eligible. This is the NFT wallet that we've just talked about. You'll go through there. It'll basically give you an overview of what you have actually done on the chain and why you're receiving the tokens that you have. And if you move through this, it'll touch on the JPEG enthusiast. This is the NFTs that I hold. And then it'll give you an overview of the amount of tokens that you've got. And that pretty much wraps it up, to be honest. It's that straightforward at this point. It's called the LayerZero Rewind, and tomorrow is when you'll actually be able to claim any tokens that you are eligible for. So do keep in mind that because it says you're eligible now doesn't mean that you can't still be excluded. Like we mentioned earlier in the video, this is still a possibility. Hopefully not for any of you guys watching this video, but you do have to keep that in mind. So that's pretty much it for today's video. It does seem like a lot of these big blue chip airdrops continue to disappoint a lot of people. We've seen some disappointment with ZK Sync. Now we're seeing it with LayerZero, but hopefully some airdrops in the future can restore hope in their communities. If you did enjoy the video, please do drop a like, subscribe, put the notifications on. Plenty more airdrop related videos coming. I'll also drop a LayerZero price prediction video sometime in the near future. In the meantime, please do trade safe, invest safe, airdrop farm safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.